What's happening, YouTube, Facebook, and Dailymotion, and everybody involved? Anthony Marsh on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film with a brand new, once again, a brand new Power Rangers Lightning Collection review for this week. And the second is another Mighty Morphin figure from the Lightning Collection with Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Mighty Morphin, Lord Zedd, and I've been wanting to get my hands on Lord Zedd ever since, well, even though, while currently at the time of this video, that 2-pack with Rita and Lord Zedd have already came out because last year was the character's fictitious wedding anniversary, and Hasbro had to do a anniversary pack to accommodate that last year, given that last year was the 25th anniversary of their wedding, and as well as the third season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the movie. So here we are with Lord Zedd. This is another Lightning Collection figure I snagged from Walmart online, and I am happy to open this up, take a look at him, because I haven't had a Lord Zedd action figure in a long time, since my childhood, no less, because it's just been that long since I last had Lord Zedd as an action figure. And he was in fact the only Power Ranger villain I ever had as an action figure back in the day. I remember that one Lord, this one Lord Zedd, for any, well, I'm speaking for the older fans around my age group, if there are any of them watching. Remember that one Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Lord Zedd figure that we had back in 1994-95, where his chest lit up? Yeah, that was that Lord Zedd, and I remember I had that Lord Zedd figure only once, and since this figure is for me to make up for not getting any of his recent action figure releases, not counting this though, but back when Bandai still had the license for Power Rangers, they had the legacy 5-inch figure in the Action Hero scale, and then before that was the Super Legends release of Lord Zedd, I believe, and back in 2007 to accommodate Power Rangers 15th anniversary in 2007, and I think that's about it, because, and oh yeah, there was also a Lord Zedd figure for the 2010 reversion 11 years ago to accommodate the 2010 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reversioning that Disney did. But now here I am, more than 25 years later, my first brand new Lord Zedd action figure. And yes, to pay respect to his fallen voice actor who passed away at age 70, 2 years at the time when this figure was out, Robert Axelrod, the voice of Lord Zedd. So if you saw the beginning of this video, before I started, I had to pay a moment of silence to Lord Zedd's voice actor before going to the review. So Robert, this one's for you and every single one of who followed and all hailed Zedd. Here's my review, and let's take a look how he looks outside of the box. If only if I had Zedd's throne chair, if only if I had his Z-Putties, Rita and Goldar with winged Goldar, and pretty much everybody from Mighty Morphin's cast of villains. Now this is my first Mighty Morphin villain outside of Ranger Slayer from the comics, and of course I'm gonna get Lord Draken later, but time to unleash Lord Zedd in all of his evil glory. Alright everybody, now that I got Lord Zedd out of the box, let's take some of the contents before looking at the figure itself. As usual, we got our interchangeable hands for Zedd, which you have two of the hands of him with his open fingers like this. You can put that on the right hand, but I don't know if you can keep that hand steady with him wielding the staff, because both of these hands like this can have him open and wield the staff. Here's a bald fist when he gets a little angry, and you know how he used to when he feels the agony of defeat. When the Rangers would defeat his monster of the week, he would glow turning red and his hand would turn red. Okay, we got that. There isn't that many accessories to talk about for him. Of course, here's one of his bombs that he used to turn his monsters big. Of course, by the time when he and Rita got married, and after they got married, Zedd didn't need these bombs anymore. But when I get that Rita and Zedd 2-pack, their wedding anniversary pack, of course, if you put their staffs together when they do the by the powers of might and magic make our monster grow, that was something they said back in season 3 with that. But when it's now that, given this is the Lord Zedd figure for when Zedd is not with Rita yet, Zedd was all by himself, because again, considering all the the stuff that made him so awesome before he got bogged down thanks to parent complaints about him being too evil and evil looking for Power Ranger standards. And Lord Zedd is still awesome to this day. And yet I hated how, again, looking back now in retrospect, I hated how the parents of the 90s dumbed this guy down, writing petitions to Saban, telling them to tone down Lord Zedd, so that's why they brought Rita back. Hence, Rita and Zedd got married. I would say when Rita and Zedd got married, I think they were a more powerful force for the Power Rangers to be reckoned with. But when Zedd was on his own, yeah, in the beginning it was great, but then as time went on, he started to become a banana sore loser for villains, and, therefore said. So this is how his hand looks, wielding a bomb to blow up. We would throw a bomb to make his monster grow, like, all those monsters he had, by the time he took over for Rita. And I actually minded the use of this only big accessory, this main accessory outside of the staff, and the lightning piece is that bomb. Speaking of that lightning piece, the lightning piece is, I like how, it looks like this red lightning piece for Zedd's staff looks like a Twizzler, but this is not to eat. But the way how they did this lightning effect piece looks like a thing of candy, but for a toy, but it seems so candy colored. And this lightning effect piece is very similar to those lightning effect pieces I have for some Rangers that I had already reviewed. So let's take a look at this lightning effect piece over Zedd's staff, because look how cool it looks around the staff, and that's great. And here's how the staff would look with that lightning piece. Very wicked awesome. As for the staff itself, let me take this off. The staff itself is just basic plastic, silver plastic, and I like how they did that staff very well and well done, because it's just a silver staff with a big evil looking Z on it. As for the Lord Zedd figure itself, so while I do mind articulation on Zedd, his since his body is consisting of all of this silver metal, and all of this dark exoskeletal skin, and also the grill for a mouth, and then the evil looking red visor, the tubes around him, I don't know what was the extent of that. And then this is how Zedd looks from the back. The tubes, are all over his body, and it's like, well, it's a way to keep Lord Zedd, because Lord Zedd, seeing his appearance on Power Rangers, even back when I was a 2-year-old, again, like I've said before, based on my history with Power Rangers during MMPR when I was a little kid, around 2 years old, I wasn't frightened that much to Lord Zedd. I thought Lord Zedd looked pretty cool, kind of like up there with Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Megatron from Transformers. But Lord Zedd was Lord Zedd was kind of like the Darth Vader of Power Ranger villains, and given him being very menacing and evil looking, he's just so iconic, from his dark red blood looking skeletal body, all of the exoskeletal silver armor around him, that visor and stuff. It's just so iconic, and especially the look of the cranium on the cranium with his brain visible, because we're not sure if Lord Zedd was really human underneath all of that, but we learn later on, come Power Rangers in Space with Countdown to Destruction, that Lord Zedd had turned human. We get to see his human form alongside Rita's human form, with, believe it or not, Carla Perez outside of the Rita makeup and costume. But even though I kind of, makes me also think about that one Power Rangers fan film that someone had worked on, the one that I, of course, was very passive aggressive about, where someone wanted to do a Lord Zedd where Lord Zedd was reborn, and this is how Lord Zedd posed for that abandoned Power Rangers fan film that we shouldn't speak of anymore, given that times have changed now. But and also how in that the posters for that MMPR fan film we never got, this is that kind of pose Lord Zedd does, because I can do all kinds of different poses with Zedd and probably emulate that, and because this is this is a great Lord Zedd figure. But okay, now for the articulation. You can do a bunch of ankle pivots and swivels, certain directions you like. In terms of in terms of elbow, knee crunches, you can't do much knee crunching because look at all the muscle mass on Lord Zedd. It's like you can't really do much knee pivots, but yet you can do elbow crunches. The elbow crunches can't go any further neither on both arms, so you can't really do that. You can't really, given all the tubes around his arms and legs, you can't really do much movement around his arms and legs, so that's probably one of the reasons why Lord Zedd only has certain amount of articulation for him. And it's fantastic how we got a really beautifully well done Lord Zedd action figure for the Lightning Collection. I have to give Hasbro props for that. And until I get Goldar, Rita, the Putties, and even when they do Scorpina, Finster, Squat Babu, Rito, Master Vile, once I get all of those villains for MMPR, I'm going to see how those figures look. So I will probably stack them up real quick because there's not really much you can say for Lord Zedd's action figure. It's just freaking awesome. And just a little small posing bit to see how Lord Zedd looks when he's facing the Rangers in the battle pose. But though only in the show, Tommy was the only Ranger that Lord Zedd fought because they had been waiting for that during the last 2 seasons after his introduction. And when Tommy got the White Ranger powers after his Green Ranger powers went out, that he would finally have the advantage one day to defeat the Battle Lord Zedd. Although the Rangers, back when they still had their Mighty Morphin powers, never fully defeated Rita and Lord Zedd because, well, it sucks to be the fact that, as the original team, the ones that started it all, I kind of wish they did something like this in the television show years ago. But again, Lord Zedd only fought Tommy, and he was the only Ranger he fought, while the other 5 Rangers were dealing with his and Rita's monster during that time, during that 3rd season of the 3-parter changing of the Zords when Kimberly was starting to lose her Pink Ranger powers, and Catherine was starting to be evil under Rita's influence. That takes me way back to that 3-parter, and that's probably why I love the 3rd season of Mighty Morphin so much, because given the fact it took them 3 years to amp up the stakes between Rita and Zedd and the Power Ranger. In conclusion, before I give my overall final thoughts, now I've noticed that when I get more of the villains for Power Rangers, particularly like even the Lightning Collection monsters for MMPR, like when I get Pumpkin Rapper and King Spinks, and whenever they do more Lightning Collection monsters for MMPR, like Mighty Minotaur, Premator, Pexter, Sacadillo, Vampirus, all of the monsters that they had back during the 3 seasons. Well, although when I do get when they do get my more Lightning Collection monsters going, but for Mighty Morphin, I'm not going to do all the monsters. I'm just only going to go for certain ones per the 3 seasons, like 10 of my favorite monsters from each of the 3 seasons. I'm not going to do all the monsters. I know there is going to be a lot of monsters to collect doing that gotta catch them all mentality, a lot of Pokemon, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just only going to do the main stuff, the Rangers, the villains, and even when I get Zordon Alpha next time. And also seeing how Lord Zedd stands with the Rangers in comparison, and even when I get Goldar and Rita later, that Zedd stands a bit, despite that these are 6-inch figures of Power Rangers, according to Hasbro, some of the villains, well, especially when I get Goldar next time, that they're going to stand at least slightly half an inch taller than the Ranger themselves, especially going from the length and the height of the shoulders, shoulders aside, that from a shoulder length, Zedd looks a bit, looks like an inch taller than, let's say, Tommy is the White Ranger, for example. Even when I stand him up with, like, let's say, Tommy is the Green Ranger, he'll probably, Zedd will probably be a bit inch taller than Tommy is the Green Ranger, anybody from the MMPR, and it seems like he seems a bit taller than the rest. I bet you wait until I bring out Ranger Slayer and see how he stacks up with her. Even look at Ranger Slayer. I mean, Ranger Slayer, well, given again, females are supposed to be like an inch shorter than the males, but look at how Ranger Slayer stacks up with Lord Zedd, and given that she's slightly an inch shorter than Zedd from a shoulder length, and that's exactly how it seems, especially from the camera's view of it, because, or actually this is just about accurate. Even when I look at these figures on the shelf, they're going to be standing from that width like that. So let me put Ranger Slayer away just to give you a demonstration a bit. So in conclusion, I adore this Lord Zedd figure. I know I'm going going to get the Rita and Zedd wedding pack, although it's going to be another Lord Zedd in my collection, but that's fine. But though, one of the things I also forgot to point out during the main course of the review was the way how they painted the visor. I kind of wish the visor was a bit more reddish, but it has this violet magenta tint to the visor, which I don't think that's supposed to be accurate at all, unless I want to do a little small custom to the visor and make it more evil red looking as usual. And actually, but other than that, this figure is great. And you know, given the limited articulation because of the plastic tubes over the body, because that's how Lord Zedd came out to be with, but I kind of wish that actually this figure is actually impressive. There really isn't much to say about it, but it's just a great figure. And also, the more Mighty Morphin figures to get, the better. And again, this collection has, you know, now so far I have collected about over, if you count the duplicate Lost Galaxy Reds in my collection, I now have about like 15 Lightning Collection figures from Hasbro's Power Rangers so far, I think, because given I got only 6 Mighty Morphin figures, 2 of Lost Galaxy, 2 of SPD, and 1 Zeo, 4 in space characters if you count that Psycho Red from that 2-pack for Galaxy Red. Then the 3 Beast Morphin Rangers. So yeah, that's a lot to count, because yeah, there's more Lightning Collection figures to come and to review, because I think that's really my focus for these toy reviews for my revival of this content, is to focus mostly on the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection and see how these figures, how all of these Hasbro produced toys stand out far better than the Bandai ones I struggled and stressed out trying to collect and review, and you know, pulling my hairs out of stress for that stuff. But not much with Hasbro, so good thing Hasbro did something right for once. So that's it for my review for Lord Zedd. What do you think of this review? Be sure to subscribe and drop a like, and there'll be more Power Rangers Lightning Collection reviews and future reviews to come. Anyway, thanks for watching.